Welcome to your 20-minute hip rescue routine. So I know that a lot of us are on computers a lot and sitting at our desks, and then even those of us who are doing that plus being really active, our hips can get really sore. So sore from sitting a lot, and then also sore from running or walking, playing soccer, whatever we do. So this little hip rescue video could be used anytime. You can do it every day if you want, but anytime your hips are feeling like they need some TLC. All right, so it's gonna be 20 minutes. Let's come to our mats. And we're just gonna start by coming to our backs into a supine pigeon. So this is one of my favorite. I do this every morning when I wake up and in bed at night when I'm about to go to sleep. So crossing your right knee over your left ankle, engaging that right foot and flexing it, and then bringing your left knee in, coming towards your chest. And if this is good for you, you can stay here. And if you want a little bit more of a stretch, just grab the back of your left leg and pull it forward towards your chest. Good. And then let's breathe here. I always like to move around and rock. From side to side, actually kind of even doing some circles with your left knee can feel really good because you get into all sorts of sticky places in your right hip by doing that. One more deep breath here. And then releasing that down. You're going to take your right knee and hug it into your chest. And then if you want to take it a step further, straighten out your left leg. And then just pulling that right knee into your chest. And now doing kind of rocking back and forth and doing a few circles. And you'll just feel in that joint some waking up, some releasing, maybe some pain, a little bit of sensation, hopefully not pain. I can feel sensation. Good, and then what we're gonna do next is take that right leg and bring it across. You can straighten it out or you can leave it bent. And you're gonna bring it across your body in a bit of a twist. You can put your right hand out just to kind of balance you on that side. So you can either leave your knee bent a little bit or you can completely straighten it, and you'll take your left hand onto your left thigh just to push it down a bit, and if you straighten it, you're going to feel that amazing stretch in your IT band. So your IT band is coming down from your hip and goes all the way down into your knee, and a lot of us can get sore IT bands. And breathing there. Good. And then bringing that right knee up, hugging it into your chest one more time. And then you can release that, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. So, feet on the mat. Bring your left knee over your right ankle, flexing your left foot to protect your knee, and then bringing your right knee up and into or headed towards your chest. And then you can you can grab back your right leg just for a more intense stretch. I often have my left elbow kind of pushing against my left leg, and so that gives me an even better stretch through that left hip, the outside of that left hip. And then moving around if you like, doing really, really tiny circles, or just back and forth, or whatever suits you. And breathing here. Good, and then when you're done that, you can release. And bringing your left knee into your chest while your right leg straightens and reaches out. And doing circles again, or rocking back and forth, or just stillness if you prefer, with that left leg. Just getting the fluid back into the joints. With a little compression extension here of the hip. Good, and when you're ready, we'll do that IT stretch on the other side. So taking your left leg and straightening it, and then bringing it across your body, reaching your left hand out to kind of help you keep your, not roll, you don't want to roll over, right? You want your left shoulder to still be on the mat as much as possible. And so as you can grab your thigh with your right hand and just kind of hold it and press it a little bit. So inhaling here and exhaling, feeling that stretch in the IT band, and for me the calf, major stretch in the calf on the left leg. One more breath here. Good, and then releasing that and coming back to neutral. So we're gonna push ourselves up into a cross-legged position. Just gonna face you. So come into cross-legged position and bring your spine into a really nice straight position. Tucking your tailbone just a little bit and engaging your core. So on the inhale, we're gonna do that, bringing our spine nice and straight. On the exhale, you're gonna walk your hands out in front of you and just feel that nice release through the low back and the hips. I actually like to bring my right foot out in front of my left shin instead of like crossing my legs like that. I like to just have them parallel to each other, if that makes sense. And then coming out and walking your hands forward. And you can feel that really nice stretch in the right hip especially, probably, if you have your right foot in front of your left shin. And then walking your hands over to the right. Inhaling center. And exhaling left. And let's just move like that a little bit. Inhale center. And exhale, other side. Good, so you're just doing this like walk with your hands here. Good, come on up. Change the cross of your legs, or bring your left foot in front of your right shin this time. And folding forward again. Chest comes forward. And so now if your left foot is outside of your right shin, then you should feel the stretch in your right hip and glute. And again, you can come to the right, center, and then exhale left. Just feeling what that feels like in your body as you walk your hands back and forth. And then coming back to center one last time, and coming on up. All right, let's come onto hands and knees. And we're just gonna do a few hip circles. So once you're situated with your shoulders over your wrists and your hips over your knees, you're gonna take the right, I'm just gonna check the video. Yeah, we're good. Okay, we're just gonna take the right knee and draw some circles with the right knee, so bringing up and forward. Trying to remain stable in the rest of your body, so you're just moving your hips and knees. You're just moving your right leg now. And then you can change positions, or reverse directions. For 2. And one more. Maybe you're hearing some pops and cracks like I am. And then we're gonna switch and do that on our right side. I just switched so you could see me. You don't have to switch positions on your mat. So inhaling, big circle with your left knee, and either side might feel a bit more cracky or poppy. The two sides might feel different. Reversing directions with that circle. Trying to remain stable in the rest of your body. It's hard. Good. And then your right foot up to the front of the mat, in between both hands. Actually, I'm just thinking here, I'm just gonna grab my blocks, or my block, because this one is better with a block. Okay, so we're gonna go into lizard pose. So with lizard pose, you're bringing your leg up, and your foot is coming to the side of your mat. Okay, so it's on the outside, well, on the inside of the mat, but just at the edge of it. And then bringing your hands down in the middle of the mat. And I just have the block here because if I can't bring my hands down to the mat, so I have the block to help me out here. Yeah, for the lizard pose, we're just gonna leave our hearts nice and open, spine straight, chest is forward. And then if you want, you can lift your back leg for more of a stretch in the hips. You're really gonna feel this. If you lift your back leg, you're gonna feel this in your left hip flexor, the front of your leg, and then your right hip, of course, is the one that's really getting a nice deep stretch there. And if you want to rock back and forth or side to side, that's a really nice, or do circles, almost circles with your hips. It's a really nice way to get into that hip flexor and the hip on the right. Okay, so when you're done, set your left knee down on the mat and just bring your right knee back to meet it. We're just gonna sit down for a second on our knees. Just kind of let that soak in. Good, so you're probably feeling some sensation in your hips, and that's a good thing. The blood's flowing and movement and opening is happening. So let's do that on the other side. So coming up to your knees, this is just a really nice way, easy way to get into any pose when you're just doing a short practice and not doing a lot of vinyasas. You can just bring your right foot up to the edge of your mat, and then your hands can come to the center. Mine are on a block. Good. Okay, already feeling that nice opening in the right hip flexor and the left hip and groin area. And so if you want even more, come up on your right foot. And you can press your foot back and your heel, give your calf a stretch there too. So just rocking back and forth, finding some really juicy sensations. Make sure if anything hurts, you're coming on out and just not going so deep into the pose. And just breathing here. This is an intense stretch for your hips, so making sure to breathe. Good. Okay, so come on down and coming back to your knees. We're just going to go into child's pose for a moment here. I like to do wide leg child's pose. Just feels so good on my hips, especially right now since they're really open. I would suggest wide leg if you can. So knees are wide, and then you're just coming down with the idea that your chest is trying to reach down to the mat. And you can have your arms out active, or you can just have them kind of by your side, relaxed. And so with your forehead to the mat, take a minute to feel how your hips feel now with all of that wonderful opening. Do they feel different than when you came to the mat today? Okay, good. So let's come on up, walk your hands back up, and we're going to come to standing. We're just going to go into a nice balancing pose, but it'll also be a really good stretch for your hips. So coming to Tadasana on your mat, just feeling that strength and balance in your feet, grounding down, and then making sure your spine is nice and straight and long. And you're gonna kind of wiggle around in your left foot and feel your left foot really grounding down. This is gonna be the one that's holding you in this balance pose. So once you feel like you're grounded in your left foot, you can float your right knee up. Good, take a breath here. And then crossing your left, whoops, I'm already coming out of it. This is like a supine pigeon that we just did on our backs. We're now doing it standing, okay? So bringing your right knee up and then crossing your right ankle over your left knee, okay? And then sitting back as if you're sitting into a chair pose. You can bring your hands to your heart if this feels good. So sitting back, making sure you can see your left toes. You're not coming forward, but sitting your butt back into that chair and feeling that beautiful, intense stretch. Oh, and she comes out. So, and knowing that this is a balance pose as well as a really good hip stretch can give you that insight into why it might be so hard. So let me try that again. Coming back in if you come out. And you want to flex your right foot to protect your knee, okay? And just breathing here. And so I know you guys have already been here for a while if you didn't come out like me. So now we're going to come on out. Good. Just shake it out. Awesome. So we'll do that on the other side. Now, everybody's, sides can be different, right? So we'll see if I have a bit more balance on the right side. So grounding down through your right foot, all four corners on the mat evenly. And then when you're ready, floating your left leg up. Oh, did you hear that crack? And then crossing, I like to put my hands at my heart. It just makes me feel more balanced. Crossing your left ankle over your right knee. Making sure your left foot is flexed so you're protecting the knee. And then sitting back into that stretch. Just glancing at your right foot, making sure you're good there. And you can choose a spot to focus on, just a couple feet ahead of you, so that you can maintain your balance through that drishti. And breathing deep. All right, and then slowly coming out and shaking it out. Great, so let's come back down onto the mat and start to think about closing the practice. We're going to, so come on down. We'll do one last really good hip stretch, and sometimes it's a little hard to get into this pose, so if you need blocks and bolsters, now is a good time to grab them. I'm going to actually show you with 2 pillows. So if you don't have blocks and you don't have bolsters, you're just going to want to use 2 pillows for this one. And I should have had my pillows ready, but of course I just thought of it now. So this is called Firelog Pose, I believe. So you're going to take your left leg and you're going to bring it in front of you in a 90-degree angle. Okay, so your shin is in a 90-degree angle parallel to the mat. And then your left ankle is going to be on your right knee. And you're going to want to try to line up the bottom half of your legs. I hope that makes sense. So left ankle is on right knee, while right ankle is over top of your right knee is over top of your left ankle. Now, if this is too intense, you can take a block or a pillow and put it under your left knee, okay? And that should help. And then you can put 2 under there if you want. Oh yeah, that actually felt really, so even though I can get this parallel kind of thing going, it just felt so much better to put those pillows under my left knee. I immediately felt the stretch intensify in my right glute and my hip, and just felt the relief of that right foot pressing down the knee. So anyways, moral of the story, use some bolsters if you need to. So really we should be breathing into this sensation on the right side. It is a pretty intense sensation, and this is why I leave it till the end of the class, because our hips should be quite open by now. So that, so we can unwind here now. Bring your legs out in front of you. Just give them a little shake, maybe back and forth, rolling them back and forth. Good, and we'll try that on the other side now. Okay, so now bringing your right knee and having your shin parallel to the mat, and then stacking your left ankle on your right knee, and then your right knee is over top of your left knee is over top of your right ankle, but it certainly doesn't have to touch, that's for sure. Okay, so it's like you're stacked in this log position, and if you can imagine, these are your shins are a couple logs on top of each other. Let's breathe here. So I'm just putting a pillow underneath my right knee. Maybe two. Good. Your spine is just nice and straight. And some people who are advanced would actually fold over this conglomeration, but that is really too much for me. So put those pillows back. And breathing into that left hip. Your hands can just be gently beside you on the ground. And so you might be, your back might be totally straight, or you might be folding forward a tiny bit. I'm folding forward just a little bit. Inhale and exhale. And as you inhale, your spine lifts. You grow taller, and as you exhale, you might fold forward a little, intensifying the stretch on the left side of your hip. Good. And then you can come on out of that. Okay, that's intense, hey? So give your legs a shake. Good. And then actually you can just bring your legs up and do a few windshield wipers with your knees. And that'll release everything, any tension in the lower back or hips. Good, and because this is a really short class, please feel free to go into Shavasana for as long as you want. So if you're doing that, you can just go ahead and stop the video and just lie down for 5 minutes and just intake all of that goodness into your body and soul. Because it's a short video, I will end with a quick namaste. And I'm so pleased that you joined me today. I really hope your hips are feeling a little bit better. And in order to kind of make progress, you could even do this video a couple times a week if you want. All right. Namaste. Lots of love to you and your hips.